What's up guys, Duarte here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video we're going to take a look on how you can beat a big ass Weapon X team almost maxed out with your very small Weapon X. As you can see, it's almost 200k. There is a few things that we need to take into consideration in order for us to do this, so we'll go through them. And many people asked me on my last video, why would anyone use the Weapon X team on defense? Well, first, it's a new team. Not many people know how to deal with this team. It doesn't have many counters, and the Weapon X is very strong on defense, with a lot of sustain, with a lot of damage and a lot of control. So it's not like it's something easy to deal with. And once again, because it's a new team, many people might try to use different teams that have no chance against them, and that's why many people use them on defense. For example, on my last Alliance Wars, at least 10 people were using them on defense, so it's very common. So if you like the information on this video, like always, make sure to share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content. Make sure to smash that like button, and let's get started. Okay, so first we are going to take a look at a few things: the positioning of the team, the best ISO weight for them, and also the T4s that are 100% necessary for this specific match. So in terms of positioning, you want to use Silver Samurai in one corner, and you want to use Omega Red in the opposite corner. You want to keep Omega Red as far away as possible from the middle, because you don't want him to take any damage, any negative effects, and especially ability block. If you get ability block on Omega Red, there is a high chance that you are going to lose the match, so this is something you want to avoid as possible, and this is why we have this positioning. In the middle, we can have Sabretooth. He is fine, we just need him to do his ultimate and the special, and even so is not super relevant. Wolverine, he can stay next to Silver Samurai because he has the 100% chance to block. He also has the defense up and death proof whenever he goes under 60% HP. He also has a lot of regen, 20% on turn, and like I mentioned before, the 100% block chance whenever he goes below 50%. Then we have the other character with high survivability on this team, Lady Deathstrike. She has those two dodges that are very powerful on this team, but still we want her to keep as far away from the tank as possible. In terms of ISO weight, many people are using Raider on Wolverine and on Sabretooth. I would say that this is a very big mistake, especially if you are using them on offense. If you are using them on defense, when you want the AI to be as dumb as possible, in that specific situation, then using Raider is not terrible. But if you are using them on offense, Raider should be out of the question. And the reason why is because you want to use your several skirmishers to remove positive effects from the enemies. Not only to have higher focus on the bleeds that you are applying, but removing the positive effects is key in order to win this match, especially in such a big punch up 200k. So in terms of ISO weight, you want to have Silver Samurai with a skirmisher ISO weight because of his counters and assists, and if you can afford it, make sure you have the level 3 blue ISO weight. For Wolverine, you want him with a Striker, because most of the damage from Wolverine is coming from the bleeds that he applies, and having a Striker on Wolverine increases his base damage, and that also increases the damage out of the bleeds. Because he's also pretty bad with his abilities, he has long cooldowns on the special and the ultimate. You will do the basic quite often, and with the basic you want to have the ISO 8 Striker so you can apply more bleeds whenever you do the basic. With Sabretooth you want a skirmisher, but it's not important for Sabretooth to have the level blue ISO, level 3. That is not important. If you have him just at level 4 or level 5 green, it will be fine as long as it's a skirmisher. For Lady Deathstrike, you want her to have a skirmisher ISO 8. You want to make sure that she applies the bleeds to the enemies to lower the resistance. You also want to make sure that you apply as many vulnerabilities as possible, and she's one of the fastest characters on this team, so that will be very convenient. It's not necessary that you have her at level 3 ISO blue, but it would be best. So ISO 8 blue level 3 for Silver Samurai and for Lady Deathstrike. The other ones is not so important. And finally, for Omega Red, you want him as a striker. You want him to do additional attacks with his basic, because whenever he does his basic from the ISO 8 attack, he will steal 10% health from the primary target, and that will be very, very important when you are doing these big punch-ups, because you are stealing the health, not doing a specific amount of damage. So it's a flat amount, 10%, which is huge when you are punching up big. So that was the ISO 8s. We already talked about the position. The last thing we have is the T4s. And for the T4s, as you can see, I have all of them on Silver Samurai, but the only one that is really important for this specific fight is the passive, making sure that the enemy Silver Samurai doesn't do any assists. The basic is pretty nice and the special as well, but usually we don't get will not get enough turns to take advantage of the special. So I would say do the passive and the basic, and the other two you can skip. Taking a look at Wolverine, you don't really need any of the T4s, but if you want to max out his damage output, you really want to do the special and the basic. The other ones are not so important for this specific fight. Then on Sabretooth, we don't really have to do any T4s. Of course, the ultimate helps a little bit. Lady Deathstrike, you want to make sure you do a special to apply as many bleeds as possible. The turn rewind is also very important. The ultimate is not super relevant, she does fine without the ultimate, and the passive is quite decent because of the extra dodges, making sure that she survives as long as possible. And finally, the T4s that you want for Omega Red for this specific fight, the basic helps a lot because you want to do as many ISO 8 attacks as possible, and removing the 10% health from the enemies with the basic and with the ISO 8 attack. Plus you want the T4 on the passive for the extra 30% max health, plus the 15% damage reduction whenever you have the 3 Weapon X allies plus Omega Red. So that's all in terms of positioning, ISO 8 and T4s in order to win in this match. So now let's take a look at the clip and see what else we have to take into consideration. Okay, let's get started. As you can see, almost 200k punch up, and the enemy Omega Red is at 7 yellow and 6 red stars, so maxed out. All of the enemies are at gear tier 15, and as you saw, my Omega Red is at gear 13, and Silver Samurai and Wolverine are at gear 14. Okay, so when the fight starts, it doesn't really matter if you start first or if you start second. The only thing you don't want is ability block on your Omega Red. This is why he has to stay in the corner as far away as possible from the tank and also from the middle. So if you start first or if you start second, you want to apply ability block to the enemy Omega Red, because you don't want him to have his second turn and do his nasty ultimate. So this is what we do. We go after the enemy Omega Red, we apply ability block to him, and after that we want to remove the positive effects that he has, the speed up and the defense up. And this is why we need several characters with the skirmisher, especially level 2 ISO 8 blue. And then we want So we go after him, we apply the first vulnerability, and then with the Silver Samurai we got the assist, and we remove the positive effects. Now this only happened because the enemy doesn't have the T4 on the Silver Samurai, so if it's the case that they have the T4, this is why once again you need several characters with the Skirmisher Azawate to make sure that it still happens without the assists. So we continue the fight. Wolverine attacks our Omega Red and the Lady Deathstrike. The dodges come in for the extra survivability, and with our Wolverine and with all other characters we have, we want to attack Omega Red, full focus on him to make sure that he dies as fast as possible. So he got the speed up again from his passive, so you want to attack him and make sure we remove these. At the same time, we want to turn rewind the enemy Silver Samurai, so we have our turn before his. Okay, so here we go, we turn rewind him, we apply the vulnerability, so now we are going to remove the positive effects, and we also turn rewind Silver Samurai to make sure that our own Silver Samurai goes first, and now we want to stun the enemy Silver Samurai so he doesn't do anything funny to us. Okay, so here we go for the stun, and this will prevent that our small Omega Red will not get destroyed by Silver Samurai. Okay, now we have the ultimate. We don't need to remove the buffs from Omega Red because we are going to destroy him. As you saw, our damage was very small, but because we did the Azawate attack, we stole the 10% health, and that allowed us to remove the enemy Omega Red, even that he was much bigger than ours. After this, we want to go after Silver Samurai. We don't want him to taunt or to apply any stun to us. So here we go, and now with the Lady Deathstrike we do the ultimate on Silver Samurai as the primary target. Then we want to go after whichever character has the defense down and has the turn faster. In this case it was Wolverine, so we went after him, and now we have Lady Deathstrike and Sabretooth. We want to go after Lady Deathstrike because she has the death proofs, and with Wolverine we can remove death proofs right away and delete her. With Silver Samurai now we taunt, we protect our team, and then we just have to finish off this lonely Sabretooth, and let's do it with our own. So as you saw, this fight is quite easy as long as you keep your Omega Red as far from the attention of the enemies as possible, and even with big differences in terms of yellow stars and red stars and gear tiers, you'll still be fine as long as you follow the instructions I gave you. So yeah guys, that's gonna be the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, you know what to do. Smash that like button like a boss, and like always, if you found the information helpful, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content. Stay tuned even for more Weapon X related videos, and I will catch you guys later.